happening? It's another episode of Kickin' Shit with the Gang. Today, we got a special guest, man. Y'all wouldn't believe who we got in the trap today. So today, we got a super producer, my teacher. Started out on SoundCloud, which most of us did, so I know we got a lot of similar experiences. So give it up for the one and only, my man, Pots and Pans, Mr. Zotti. What's happening, my guy?
Not much, dude. Thanks for having me.
Oh man, thanks for being here, man.
Yeah.
This is the first episode.
Yeah, I was gonna say when you said welcome to another episode, I was like,
Yeah,
but it is gonna be just another episode.
Yeah.
The more you keep doing it, it's just gonna be like, just I'm really excited about it because like this location is really sick.
Yeah.
I mean, it looks professional. Like I was saying before, we didn't even pay anything for it.
Right.
And I didn't at least. And
Yeah.
yeah. But this is just the beginning. So.
It's dope, man.
Yeah.
This is dope, man. Dope things. So, man, we jump right into it, man. So, how'd you get to start in music?
Wow. Okay. So I started doing music when I was a kid. Like, I started playing drums since 6th grade.
Yeah.
I always wanted to do whatever my brother did because I always looked up to him. He always just, like, beat the shit out of me. But it didn't matter. Like, I still looked up to him.
Yeah.
And he got into drumline when he went to high school. And the drumline that he played in, which is the one I eventually played in, was like a world-class drumline. And so it was very competitive, really like practice kind of stuff.
Right.
And I was like, I want to do that. And so I started playing drums. Then I got into high school and then started competing in that drum line that I was, that he was in.
Right.
And that was like my introduction to music and me figuring out like, oh, this is something that I'm really good at, something that I like to do. And then it was in college when I got like my first MacBook Pro.
Yeah.
And then I found out about this certain type of electronic music that just like really inspired me.
Yeah.
It's kind of like if anybody out there knows Flume or Mr. Carmack or Sam Gellatry.
Yeah.
It's not like typical EDM where it's like like that crazy shit, but because I was never really into that. But it's a little bit more subtle, this kind of music that I found. A lot more hip hop inspired, which is what I've always been into.
Right. And
I was like, yo, I need to make shit like this. I need to learn how to do it. So I just torrented Ableton. Sorry. Which for those that don't know that torrenting means that you're getting it illegally. I pay for it now though, and I teach it. So just a little.
Yeah. Gotta let them know that.
Yeah. Right. Exactly. I'm street legal now, but
right.
But yeah, I just like really hit the ground running in college. I basically became a hermit, and just that's like all I ever wanted to do. When I was in class, I would just be like, okay, what's the next beat idea? Like, I can't wait to get out of here so I can start, finishing that song or whatever.
Right.
Posted my music on SoundCloud. Found a really awesome group of people that we all, kind of built each other up. We were almost like in competition with one another, So it would be like every single week someone was putting out something new. And it topped their last shit, and it topped pretty much everything that anybody had heard of us, had heard at that point, just because we all started at the same time, and so we all leveled up at the same pace.
Right.
And I was like, fuck, I wanna, outdo his song, So it was like a friendly competition, and we all supported each other. We all reposted each other's music, and then just slowly over time, we all built up our followings and stuff like that. So. Eventually these people that I only knew over the internet that were in, completely different states and zip codes away from me, we eventually met up because we were asked to play shows together. And it basically just kind of went like that. It just spiraled really quickly, but it was, it's really cool thinking back on it and just like how organic everything came together.
Yeah.
I know that was way too long-winded of an answer, but
no, you good, man. That's why we're here. So you mentioned electronica. I want to make sure I get that right because when
electronic.
Electronic. So I'm trying to get more diverse into different genres other than hip hop, R&B, and soul and stuff like that. So for the people like myself, what is electronic music?
It's a really ambiguous umbrella term.
Yeah.
It means basically anything from Skrillex, which for those that don't know, is the guy that had the half-shaved head with the long hair that went over to the side, and he played dubstep. I mean, he still does, and he's amazing. He's like one of the best, most talented producers of all time.
Right.
But it ranges from that all the way to like early 70s, like or late 70s, early 80s, like house and Chicago, like in the Chicago scene, and like Kraftwerk. So it can mean like a million different things. But when I think of electronic music, I think of anything that you can make on your computer just in like the comfort of your own home.
Right.
And you can tell a story without having to use a vocalist's words.
Right.
You know, you can basically just make an entire symphony if you wanted to, based off of these virtual instruments.
Right.
And that's how I think about electronic music.
Okay. So who inspire you? Who's your inspiration when it comes to music itself?
Yeah. So when it comes to electronic music, I would have to say Sam Gellatree. He is this insanely talented Scottish dude, and when he started, you know, he's like 24 now. He's like around my age.
Yeah.
A little bit younger. But when he started, he was like 16 or 17 years old, and he was just making the most futuristic music I've ever heard. That like, and I'm sitting there being like, this is exactly what I hear in my head, and I've never heard music like this.
Right.
So, you know, he's really what kickstarted it. But then there's other producers out there that are in like the same kind of ballpark, same kind of feel as him, like Tennyson, Mr. Carmack. I mentioned him earlier. I'm trying to think of who else, and a lot of like hip hop. Oh, there goes the logo. Well, yeah. But I guess that looks nice too. I guess. Yeah.
Can't do wrong with a cave.
No. And then like as far as hip hop, I would say like Absol, anything from TDE.
Yeah.
Those guys. Yeah, I like back in high school, that's all I listened to.
Yeah.
Like just that's all I ever listened to. There's just nothing else.
Yeah, I was I grew up in Mississippi, man, and I like to tell people. Some people I like to tell I'm from Mississippi. Other people I like to tell I'm from Memphis. But basically it's the same damn thing. But I grew up on like blues and gospel, and I started really getting into the hip hop late 2000s. You know, the Nellies.
Really?
And Nelly was out. And
I didn't know that.
That's when hip hop was it for me, man. Because nowadays I just can't see myself in it right now. But like late 2000s. Yeah.
The backpack era music.
Yeah.
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 And I can tell that in your own production.
Yeah.
That's what you're inspired by.
Yeah.
But it has a new take on it too. I mean, like the thing that I've always thought about production that's the coolest thing to me is that you can have your inspirations, you can have people that you look up to and you're like, I want to make music like that.
Yeah.
But because your brain works the way that it does, you're going to approach it in a way that is completely unique to yourself.
Right.
And it's going to come out sounding like you.
Right.
So I only find that people end up like biting someone else's style when I don't want to say that they're like scared to express themselves, but it's kind of it, you know?
Right.
And it feels more safe to kind of step in someone else's footprints, if you know what I mean.
Right.
But to make your own, you know, like with your music, you know,
right.
You have clear inspirations from like Big Crit, and you know, early Kanye production, but it has these like certain types of drums over it that wouldn't be in those instrumentals from back then, you know.
Right, and yeah, cause Kanye was like the old Kanye, you know, Graduation, and what was it? Graduation, Late Registration, that era.
Yeah,
best Kanye era. I don't care what anybody say. Yes, he's a genius.
Yeah.
Best Kanye era.
I think 90% of people agree with you on that.
Yeah.
I mean, then you have the like 808s and Heartbreaks, My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy is the best, but it's like, yeah, I guess, but just in terms of consistency, it's always going to be the earliest work. Yeah. I find that's the case 90% of the time, is that an artist's early work is their best.
Right.
And I think that's because they're not worried about anything that anybody else is telling them. Like, oh, you sound like this, or you do this, right? Like, they're not being put into a box, so they're not trying to make music that fits inside that box.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? It just kind of comes out how they would like it to sound, and then, you know, either it works or it doesn't. But yeah, that's why people are always like, yeah, I like that person, but I like their earlier stuff.
Yeah.
I feel like.
Yeah. So, being a person in this industry, right? You have people wanting to be in this industry, but doesn't really have the work ethic or the drive, basically, you know, to really, you know, get things done, because we all know, everybody in this industry, we all know it's a continuous thing. You can't stop, because once you stop, it's gonna be harder to try to, you know, get back to, you know, get back to the routine. So what do you tell those people, you know, that want to do this but doesn't have that drive to actually want to?
That's too bad. But like, either you do the work or you don't.
Right.
There's really not any like negotiation with it. I mean, maybe you can luck out and be one of those people that just has a song that blows up on TikTok. And you have a career out of that, but really how much longevity is behind that? You're going to have, like, I don't know, a big group of people know 15 seconds of your song, and then what's next after that? Like, it doesn't mean that once you get to a certain place that you have to stop working. It actually means that you have to work harder to maintain it.
Right.
So if you don't, I mean, you don't have to treat it like, oh, I have to work hard, you know, like it shouldn't be a grind. And if anything, I think that is like a toxic way to go about it, or to go about anything. Like the whole hustle mentality is really, really toxic, because if it's music and, you know, that's something that you love to do, or any kind of creation or anything like that, it shouldn't feel like work. But I think a lot of people tend, and, you know, this is going to sound like pretentious, I feel like, but I think a lot of people out there tend to just talk about things that they plan on doing and never actually do it, you know? And so there needs to be more of like, I have an idea for this, let's do it, and then let's put it out. Like, let's not debate about, you know, how I should go about doing it. Like, yeah, sure, you want to make sure that you're taking your time, but to an extent, you can overdo that and then never put out anything.
Right.
What progress does it make if you don't have anything to show for it?
Right.
So I think it's more about discovering what it is that you love to do, and then just like making your, like, a contract with yourself saying like, I'm just going to put my shit out there, whatever it may be. Right. Yeah. But
so what's your creative process like
for writing music?
For like going into writing music basically. Yeah. Does it matter what genre you going into? Does you have the same creative process for all?
No, it's pretty different depending on what it is that I'm making. Yeah. Especially because with my like personal electronic music project. Right. Like, I don't know if anybody listening to this has heard my music, but if you check it out, it's Zotti. It's really, really complex music. It's really layered, and I spend a lot of time on it. Right. And there's a lot of trial and error before I can even find an idea that's worth putting my time into. Right. And so the process for that is like exhausting, actually. Yeah. Because it's like I treat every song that I have out there, I want it to be like my baby, you know? Right. And I want it to be like anytime that I put something out, people are like, oh, I know this is going to be good. And I'm not saying that to brag or anything like that. It's just I put that much work into it. Right. And it's almost to like my detriment. Yeah. Because it's like, you know, it takes so long to like even finish a song or even come up with an idea that I like. Right. That I'm almost like put off by even starting one in the first place, you know? Yeah. But if it's, you know, something along those lines, right, for that project in particular, I usually will run through a bunch of different ideas, as many as possible, in like a short period, like maybe like a month or so. Just be like, all right, every single day I'm going to work in Ableton and I'm going to come up with a new idea. Right. And then eventually, like along doing that consistently, you know, maybe in one song I'll write a melody that I really like, but the rest of it I'm just not crazy about. but I can kind of take that nugget of gold that I got from that one experience and then apply it in the next song. Oops.
Right.
I can apply it in the next song, and then eventually I'll kind of take all these different nuggets of gold that I've learned over the process of making a bunch of different shit and apply it into one song, and then I'm like, oh, this is really sick. Like, this has potential, you know, and it could go somewhere.
Yeah, it's because my creative process it's all over the place, man. It's like 1 minute I could get inspiration from watching TV. Ooh, got an idea. Let me go ahead and start this. 10 minutes later, I'm in another world.
It's a fleeting thing.
Yeah, but it's just
annoying.
like I try to get into that creative process and to that creative spot. However, it's kind of tough when you married and you have kids constantly, you know, daddy, can you do this? Can you do this? So I'm just like,
I don't know how you do it, man.
I don't know how I do it. A lot of weed. A lot of weed. Yeah, a lot of it. So it's just like, man, it's tough for myself to get in that creative mind spot because I'm always moving. Somebody's always needs something from me. So it's just like, I'm never going to get any writing done.
Well, like I said, if you ever need a place to focus on shit, you can always come here. Because I was telling you this last time, but for the sake of saying it on record, like, someone told me this, and it's really interesting, but there's something called the flow state, which is basically the state that you get in whenever you write and you're really on it.
Right.
Like, everything is just coming out just like butter. You know, you don't have to, like, stress or overthink anything. It's just like, wow, this is really good. But it takes about 45 minutes to even get to that point of, you know, working in your DAW or whatever it is that you do before you can get there. And if something interrupts that, then, you know, immediately you can get taken out of that. And it could take up to like 15 or 20 minutes to get back into the flow state.
Yeah, it takes me up to about an hour, man. It's just like, I can't, it's like I can't get back to where I need to. It's just like, damn, where was I? And I'm trying to catch up to, you know, trying to find that creative spot. So I think that goes with, I think, mostly about at least 50 to 60% of the industry now. It's just like I wouldn't say we ran out of things to kind of say or do, but it's tough nowadays because people like myself, the way that the industry is now, we're not like that. It's just like we're not in the street, you know. We're not all carrying guns. We got 9-to-5 jobs. Yeah. So it's just like I can't do it. I can produce music, but I don't think anybody. I don't think anybody will ever see me, you know, on the stage rapping. Yeah. I'm too old.
You told me that too, and
I'm still a nephew, but I'm like an uncle also.
Yeah. So, well, it's interesting because anybody that comes into the program saying that, they're like, I'm not going to be on the stage. I'm not going to be the guy that's like crowd surfing. They're always the best producers. Yeah. They're always the most inclined because I think there's a common trait between producers, and it's that we're huge nerds. Like, massive nerds.
Facts.
Yeah.
Facts.
Yeah.
Facts.
Like, we get really into the nitty gritty. Like, oh, I wonder, like, what this, you know, like, what's the difference between this compressor and that, or you know what I mean? Like, really nerdy shit.
Right.
And then other people, I mean, not that there's anything wrong with it, but like, you know, the performer types, they just couldn't care less, you know, and that's okay. Yeah. There's like a place for everybody in the music industry. So.
Right.
Yeah.
So, we did mention that you're a teacher also.
Yep.
So,
it's my classroom, by the way.
Yeah. My teacher.
Sorry to blow your cover, but yeah.
Yeah. We're on location. Let's put it like that. We're on location.
Yeah. This is your studio too.
So what made you want to you know, give people like myself that, you know, that experience of trying to maneuver through this industry, because it's a tough industry to be in. And it's a tough industry to get into.
Oh, it's insanely difficult. I don't think people realize how difficult it actually is.
Yeah, and it's more difficult when you don't have, say, the connections that most people do have. Mm-hmm. So when you do try to find it, when you do find that connection, rather, you kind of want to utilize it and hold on to it.
Right.
So what made you want to reach back and help out?
I mean, I'll start off by saying I wasn't really particularly looking to teach.
Yeah.
I wasn't even aware of what I wanted to do.
Right.
I literally found this job on Indeed.
Yeah.
And but it could not have worked any better. It was one of those things where I was like, I am meant to be doing this.
Right.
Because what I've learned, I mean, I was teaching before that too.
Mm-hmm.
And just, I would make like YouTube videos. I would do one-on-one lessons.
Right.
And I love seeing people like have that light bulb moment when they finally get something.
Right.
And because I've been there, but in a personal way, just through trial and error. And,
right.
That shit is exhausting. Just have to do something over and over again.
Right.
So it's really gratifying to kind of see people evolve, find themselves, find their styles, and just like the little things when they finally understand, like with a lot of beginners, the hardest thing, at least when it comes to like music theory, is making your 808 in tune with the rest of your track. And like when somebody finally gets that, I know that sounds like very rudimentary for like advanced producers, but when you first start, like that can be difficult for some people.
Very.
Yeah. Especially when they don't have a background in music theory.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
exactly.
But yeah, I mean, I've been working here since last January.
Yeah.
I think. Wait, it's 2023, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, since last January or something like that.
Yeah.
It flies by so quickly, I don't even keep track of it anymore. But it's like the most gratifying thing ever because I personally am not a big fan of, doing freelance work. I, did touring and stuff like that, independent artist stuff. Wasn't crazy about that either. And this is just so much more in my lane, and it just feels very natural to me. Right. I love being able to pass on knowledge about things that I've learned. Like, if you can learn from my mistakes, I wish that, I had that when I was first starting out.
Yeah.
So anything that I can do to kind of help people over that, initial learner's curve and just get the ball rolling on finding out, what it is that they want to do and how to do it.
Right.
That's my dream job in a nutshell.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
So, what in particular, what do you teach?
So I teach, as of right now, it covers everything really that you kind of need to know to get your foot in the door of the music industry, I guess you could say. So it's an 8-month program, and each month there's a different thing that's covered.
Right.
So it starts off music business. Then it goes into beats production, which talks about Ableton. I sit over there on that desk. I pull up Ableton on this screen, and then people sit in the classroom, and we basically just learn things about music theory, the very advanced or the very introductory things like what a metronome is, tempo, how to layer your drums and stuff.
Right.
Beats production 2, which is just a more advanced version of that. Music marketing 1, music marketing 2, both things where we just learn about distribution websites like DistroKid, how to properly market your stuff, how to hook people in with a concept, selling beats on BeatStars. Let's see, vocal production, songwriting, and then a capstone. And then the capstone is just an end of the year project where basically you're doing that now. You can talk about your experience, but it's just an end of the year project that the student gets to choose, and I help them out with. So.
Well, I tell you, man, being a product of this program here, I've always wanted to do music. Yeah. I'm from Memphis, so like I said, some people I tell from Memphis, some people I say Mississippi, but in this case, I say
now people
Memphis.
Will know if you're lying when you're lying to them.
But I know about both, so if they want to question me,
right.
we can go down that lane.
Yeah.
But however. Being a product of this program is really neat because, like I said, I've always wanted to do music, and I've always learned on my own, with the exception of what I learned from my brother-in-law. But everything I've kind of learned on my own, and it's kind of neat that I found this program. Where really I was in the HVAC program before I was in this program. But luckily, I was able to hop straight in, and it was just like cake work, man.
Yeah.
It's just like it all
You
started
picked it up
to come
super
back.
quickly too.
Yeah, it's
like I'm not trying to gas you up.
yeah,
but like,
man. Hey, man. Sometimes you need a little gas, man.
Yeah, that's true.
Sometimes you need a little gas.
Yeah.
Not trap gas, but But yeah, it all comes so easy, man. I love music. That was my first, probably my first love, man.
Yeah.
Besides my mama.
Yeah.
And my wife. I just want to make sure I say that.
She came a little bit later.
Yeah, I gotta make sure I say wife.
Yeah, right. You don't want to be put in the doghouse.
But anywho, but yeah, so, man, where was I?
I
Threw
don't
me
know.
off right there. So you said tour life.
Yeah.
So tell me about that. How's tour life for a producer? We know how it is for our artists.
Yeah.
It's constant moving.
It's
But-
basically it's the same thing.
Yeah.
So, and this is in the world of electronic music.
Mhm.
So, the kind of music that I made, and I still make, but I guess when I was really doing all that stuff like playing shows and stuff like that, it just doesn't really work in a live setting, because it is kind of more hip hop oriented, and it's not that typical EDM like shit that you think of when you think of EDM, like dubstep and those big build-ups and stuff. I mean, it has a little bit of that, but I mean, still though, it was kind of the same routine I'd imagine as other electronic acts, where you travel to one city, you play a show, hopefully it does well,
Right.
and the promoter did a good job of getting people in the door. Sometimes it is not like that, and you're playing for literally 10 people, and it's really kind of funny, but also like, what am I doing with my life? you
Right.
know?
Right.
But it's still a really cool experience, because that was a great way for me to meet these people that I've been talking to on the internet for years. And I, say, hey, I'm finally coming to Philly to play a show. Let's
Right.
link up,
Right.
And granted, I would only be there for like 1 day or just 2 days or whatever, but
Right.
still, it's just like, even if, the show I played wasn't, I played like big shows, I played shows that have literally nobody there. Like,
Right.
that's happened before.
Right.
A number of different times. But regardless, it's still just about like the experience of
Right.
doing it, and that, I
Right.
love it, but you have to be built for that kind of lifestyle.
Right.
So I never really got super into it. I mean, like I did it a couple of summers.
Right.
For me and my buddies, we basically just got a bunch of shows set up, and then we just drove around in the van, went from place to place.
Right.
But I have some friends that do it, like official now, and I've got one buddy, he's playing Bonnaroo.
Okay.
So I'm going to be linking up with him, and
Oh,
I'm
that's
really
gonna be
stoked
tight.
about that. Yeah.
It's gonna be tight.
But from what he tells me, like when you're going from like North Dakota one day down to Texas the other day, and like it gets exhausting.
Oh
I'm like,
yeah,
yeah, I can imagine, man.
I can only imagine.
Yeah.
So for the people, because I hear this question a lot, producer, say like DJ Khaled, I think people don't know the difference, because I hear so many people asking, what does DJ Khaled do? DJ Khaled just screams on the mic
Yeah.
and this and that. But I think people misconstrue what a producer
Yeah.
is. Because you have a beat maker
Uh-huh.
and you have a producer.
Yeah.
The producer is not always the beat maker.
Yeah. 100%.
A producer gets people in the same room and to produce.
Yeah.
Not
Not to give DJ Khaled
yeah.
validity, because he doesn't deserve it.
Yeah,
But like in a way, yeah, he is a record producer.
he's a record producer. He's just not the beat maker.
Right.
But he has a vision.
Uh-huh.
And
Yeah.
it's his vision, but he has other people that work for him.
Yeah, yeah, and he's the one kind of orchestrating it all, and it's a very, again, like same thing as EDM. It's a super ambiguous term. It can mean a lot of different things, but when I think of a record producer, I almost think of it like a director of a movie. Somebody that is orchestrating and putting the pieces together and saying, okay, this verse goes on this beat, and this person. You know what I mean? So like it can be a beat maker, right? But I think a real record producer, so like a real producer, is someone that I think like a jack of all trades.
Right.
That is like a star producer. Your brother's pass the fuck out.
Oh yeah.
I think it's entertaining.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like a jack of all trades, someone that can engineer, someone that can produce and, actually make beats.
Yeah.
But make it with the artist in the room.
Right.
And really pick apart their brain and,
Right.
Figure out like, what are you in the mood to write today? And then like, it's a partnership almost.
Right.
And
right.
You work with the artists to make sure that they get the best possible product that they want.
Right. You hear that, people? You hear that? So DJ Khaled is a producer.
Kind of. But yeah.
Sort of.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. You're not wrong.
Give him his credit. He's the best.
No. I don't know about that. I hate that guy.
So if you could do a song if you can produce a song.
Yeah.
With anybody.
Oh, man.
With anybody, who would it be?
I'd say Kendrick. Because he's so open to do weird shit.
Oh, yeah.
And that's what I'm all about. He's like crazy on beat switches and like just nuts. Like things that nobody should be rapping on.
He's number one on my list.
Yeah. 100%. Like it is very like overstated, like that he's the best, but it's not just hype. Like he is
him
the best rapper of all time.
Him, J. Cole, Hobson. I'm a very lyrical guy. I like lyrics. I mean, I do like my, I guess mumble rap, or I like my Dirk, and stuff like that. But it's just like the lyrics, man.
Yeah,
it's what makes the song. I can't listen to like stupid shit all day.
No, yeah, definitely.
So like Kendrick and J. Cole are like at the top of my list.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I mean, I'm not like a lyrical miracle kind of guy where it's just rapping for the sake of rapping and just being like swimming in the
just talk about something.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Just like, that it's either that or I'm the complete opposite. I just want to get as like ridiculous and like stupid as possible. Because like growing up in high school, like one of my favorites was Waka Flocka, and like I mean maybe it's an unpopular opinion or whatever, or maybe he does get the credit that he does deserve. But I think that he was the one that started, like, everything that SoundCloud rap has, like, been, where it's just, like, who gives a fuck about lyrics, and just, like, let's just start this party and just get as ridiculous as possible.
Okay.
Yeah, but, that was a tangent. But I would say probably Kendrick or some, Danny Brown.
Yeah.
That would be really dope.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So we have reached our rapid fire questions.
Ooh.
For the show. So
you got to get a jingle.
And pick it right.
Yeah.
Pick your brain, man. All right. Let me see if I can do this off the top of my head. This shall be entertaining. All right. Here we go. Hot or cold?
Just okay. Wait, hold on. I'm not just going with the first thing that I'm.
First
thinking.
thing.
Hot.
Okay.
Oh no. Cold.
Cold.
Yeah.
Okay. What's the last concert you went to?
Oh fuck! I go to so many. Yo, why am I blanking on this? He's a producer.
Okay.
I don't know how to pronounce it, but yeah.
Okay. Snoop Dogg or Nas?
Nas.
I said that so quick, man.
Yeah. I mean, there's no debate.
Yeah.
His Snoop Dogg's first album is amazing, but like after that, it's just like, bro, what are you doing?
Yeah.
I mean, but like, I don't think that his thing is music. It's more just like being an entrepreneur and just being fucking Snoop Dogg. Like, he's the king.
Oh,
but
okay.
Nas.
Okay. West Coast music, East Coast music.
West Coast.
West Coast.
Yeah.
I like that.
Through and through. Yeah.
I like that. Tupac or Biggie?
Tupac.
Why Tupac?
I just grew up listening to him.
Yeah.
I mean, more so than Biggie. Like, both of them obviously amazing, but if I had to pick one, like, say you had, like, it's like, I don't know, a choice between pizza and, like, hamburgers. Like, I love them both, but if I had to choose one, like, I'm going Tupac, Yeah.
If you could live anywhere in the United States, where would it be and why?
I almost said L.A., but then that sounds like a nitmare. Because, like,
traffic, man.
Yeah, the traffic and just, like, the debauchery.
Yeah,
that
traffic, it'd be it'd be crazy.
Probably, damn, that's a hard question. Probably Colorado or something.
Colorado.
Yeah, just something where it's like a good mixture of like outdoors, terrain, like mountains and stuff. But there's also some shit to do. And like there's a city to go to. It's not just like in the middle of bumfuck nowhere. So yeah, probably Colorado.
Best song of your opinion ever made?
Powder by Sam Gellatree. Oh wait, you know what actually? Playing God by Polyphia. Yeah. Okay. It's just like a instrumental rock group, and this song is like the most well put together, like well composed piece of music I've ever heard. Yeah. Like there's no flaws in it, you know. I guess it's just personal preference also. Like the music in a nutshell. Yeah. It's all subjective, but to me it's just like so perfectly crafted. Right. No mistakes.
Yeah. Yeah. That's up, man.
Yeah.
Well, you know, we're coming on our last minute here on this show.
Can I rapid fire some questions for you?
Yeah, come on, man. Let me see.
People got to know what you're about too.
Yeah.
This is the first episode.
Let's see if I can do this. Maybe I smoking the weed. Fuck. All right, let's go.
Okay, I didn't write any down, but hot or cold?
Me neither. Cold. I can't stand to be hot. I sweat easy, man. Any type of heat, man, it's over with. I start to sweat.
Yeah, right. I'm already getting irritated.
Right.
It's like I can't, lukewarm in here.
Yeah, I can't take it, man. I can't take it.
Spaghetti or fettuccine. Or wait, that's not an option. Yeah, spaghetti or fettuccine Alfredo.
I would say spaghetti because I'm from the hood, man. That's what we. Yeah, that was it right there. But you know, when it came to the Alfredo, I think we moved on up to the. We were still in the hood, but we was on the corner now.
Yeah.
So I think I take spaghetti.
Okay.
But my sister has.
I would go the same way.
My sister has to make it though.
Yeah.
I won't eat nobody else spaghetti.
Yeah, it's not just a dish that anybody can make.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can fuck it up.
Exactly.
J. Cole or Kendrick?
Ooh. Kendrick is my number one because wordplay is killer, man. I don't think it's anybody on Earth, on God's green earth, or the universe, whoever's up there. I don't think anybody's touching him.
No. I don't think anybody ever will. Like, it's just
no
like contest.
he drops albums. He don't drop continuous albums. He make you wait a little bit. It's just like J. Cole. Like J. Cole does a lot of features, and he charges like per word. I heard.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I'm just like,
that's wild.
No,
I mean, it makes sense though. He has the right to do that at this point.
But it's just like.
But also that's kind of wild.
So it's basically he's writing his own verse, right? So it's just like however he's feeling that day. So if he wants to write like a fast ass cadence where he can fit almost 100 to 200 words in a verse, I'm gonna have to pay for all this shit. That's crazy. That's crazy. But yeah, I pick Kendrick K. Dot. I give it to K. Dot.
That's what I would pick too.
Early K. Dot.
Yeah. Okay, I have one more question.
Yeah.
And then I might. Yeah. No, we're making perfect time. I heard this on another podcast.
Okay.
So it might be cheating, but it's nothing music related. I'm just genuinely curious.
Okay.
It's would you rather question.
Okay.
So would you rather have to yell anytime that you had to talk? So anything, like if you were in a library, and you had to be quiet, you could just be like, what? Like you would have to scream it.
Right.
Or would you run anytime that you had to go somewhere? You could run to your car. You can drive, but like any time that you have to use your legs, you have to sprint.
I'm a fast walker anyway.
No, I mean sprint.
Like I like to be places on time, so that'll probably hit me out.
But what if you're walking with a group of friends and they're like, this fucking guy's
catch up, motherfucker. Catch up. I don't like yelling, man.
What do you have to piss in the middle of the night? You're gonna be running into stuff.
I take that yelling because if I yell and start waking people up, that's another problem. But I hate yelling, man. I don't like to raise my voice. I like to run.
Okay.
I like to stay active.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, that's solid. I still don't know. After all this time, I heard it a year ago, and I'm still like, I flip flop. But probably I would yell.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would just shut up. I would just never talk. Yeah, and then, I mean, if somebody did.
I mean, I guess it depends on what voice crack. Damn.
I heard that.
I guess it depends on what job you have.
Yeah.
It's like if I got a job to where I don't have to talk to people, I believe we can do that.
Right. Yeah.
But if I gotta talk, I just rather run. Catch me when you see me. Catch me when you see me.
Yeah.
So, but man, it's been a wonderful hell of an interview, man. Hell of a first
so much for
time.
having me, man.
You know, thank you for being here.
Yeah.
So how looking to the cameraman and tell the people how they can follow you, what you got coming up, and
yeah.
This is your time, buddy.
I don't really have shit coming up, but you can follow me. Follow me on SoundCloud. I hate saying that.
Yeah.
But it's Zotti, Zotti. Pretty much all my handles are that too. So Twitter, it's Matt Zotti. Instagram, Illumazotti.
Yeah.
It's a little play on words.
Oh yeah. I like that.
But yeah, I mean, as far as things coming up, I'm just focusing on teaching and just making sure that my students are doing the best thing, the best work that they could possibly make. So if you're interested in learning how to make music, learning how to make beats, and doing cool shit like this, come to Remington College. Let's work. So
yeah, they'll hook you up, man. And like I said, I'm a product of this program, man, and I love it. And hopefully we get somebody here that catches on, and then they become famous. They can be like, yeah, man.
Yeah. Remember? Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so
that's gonna happen.
Yep, definitely.
I believe it.
Happen.
I'm gonna manifest it
real soon. Again, thank you for being here. This has been Kicking Shit with the Gang. Holla at you, my guy.
Peace.